muted.
We'll call the order for the meeting, 7 o'clock. We are on the treaty land 5 and we all treating people. Approval of the agenda.
Point of order, Mr.
State the point of order.
So my understanding is that we have 3 items on the table for consideration at a later date. My research of our procedural bylaw indicates that there are some issues with the way that was conducted last week. So I would like, if it pleases council, to pull from the table the following motions and rescind them myself. A resolution to approve, a resolution recognizing and condemning human rights violations, including cultural genocide against minorities and religious groups by the government of China. A resolution to lobby a member of parliament for Churchill-Kiewat-Nupesky to adopt a more critical position on China. And a resolution condemning member of parliament for Churchill-Kiewat-Nupesky for COVID travel and stop stance on China. I'd like to pull them off the table and rescind them myself, please.
So I believe we need to take the matter from table, right, city manager?
Yes, you'd be lifting them from the table.
Okay,
Requires a
so
second.
do I get the seconder for that?
Point of order again, Mr. Deputy Mayor. The way that was tabled, as you're probably aware, was not conducted according to our procedural bylaw. So my understanding is that it really shouldn't be on the table by our procedures. And having looked at the bylaw myself, only given that there was no seconder on the motion, I'm the only one capable of pulling that motion off the table and rescinding it.
City manager?
To lift anything from the table, the procedure, unless you're, what section are you referring to? So to lift from the table is not debatable. There should be no debate at this point.
So section 160 does not allow a motion to be tabled without a date to untable it. That did not occur. Section 156 does not allow a motion that is not seconded to come to council for council's ownership. Neither of those conditions were met in what was done last meeting. And as such, I ask that I be able to pull this from the roster, so to speak.
So yes, there's an inconsistency with 160 that the date was not set at that time. With respect to the 156, that would have been identified when the mayor read went to read the resolution. There would have been no seconder. She would have called for a seconder. If there was no seconder, then the motion would have died on the spot. But because it was done through an amending of the agenda to table this at the beginning, the mayor didn't have an opportunity to read that section. So you're basically in a position right now, there's a request to lift it from the table. The next step to that is to remove from the table, requires a seconder, no debate, and then a vote for a simple majority to pass it. And then you'd have to do a second procedure, correct me if I'm wrong, Tammy, right? The second procedure would then to be kill each one of those when it comes to resolution time.
Yeah.
So if I hear you right, Councilor Tom, you want to put it back on the table so you can rescind it.
That's correct.
Okay. So if that's the case, do I get a seconder? So I be the second, so we can bring it back to the table.
You have to call for a vote.
Okay. And there's no debate and no amendment. So I call for the vote. Anybody in favor of the back to the table? Opposed? Kathy's on. Is Kathy on?
No, just like Casper, she's having trouble.
Roll over.
Or Tammy.
I'm not sure where you got this one from.
Councilor Osler.
We get clarification. So
it didn't get lifted from the table, what happens to it now? Does it need in the future another vote to lift it from the table?
It stays on the table until council supports lifting from the table. But then the councillors pointed out that there was an inconsistency, a date was set for it to come back. That was not set at the time.
Okay.
So, again, point of order. The item is not even seconded, so it does not belong to council, according to our language. So again, I was trying to do this council a favor by rescinding this. It's gonna sit there until I get to do that.
Point of order,
Council does
Mr.
not,
Chairman.
you cannot interrupt the council point of order with another point of order. Because the item has not been seconded, it does not own, it's not owned by council. So there's no, and because the item was not tabled with the dates, I don't believe that tabling was done according to our bylaw, which means both those items make this a very poorly handled item. And to get this off the table, I don't know that it was even valid to be on the table in the first place.
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, before you go, you have the rule on that point of order first.
I believe he got a valid point because I also done some research, basically how I interpreted section 160, our motion to table. You must set the date, but at that time, we did not set the date. So I myself, I will in favor of that kind of that motion, that request. Did I do it right?
I'm trying to understand so you ruled that you're in favor that it wasn't done correctly.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So I believe the proper procedure will be go to the actual reading of the motion before you table it. The mayor did not get the opportunity.
I don't believe that's consistent, but okay.
Or what if you gave the resolutions a date on when they can be lifted from the table?
That's
So
right.
say on March 29th.
Maybe that's better. So Councilor Prue, you're the one who make the motion, so can you give us a date?
Yeah, I wanted to further discuss this, so we would have to have a meeting about it before. I'd be comfortable bringing it back, so that's why I asked for it to be tabled, so we could discuss it within ourselves and then bring that back, consider bringing it back to the
Give a
table.
timeline there,
Let me take a look here.
2 weeks, a month?
When's our next in camera? Be on the 29th?
At the next regular meeting of council.
Yeah, the 29th.
Okay, we'll make a note of that.
Are we all agree on that? Councilor Palmer,
Yeah, fine, you have to take a vote, I believe, so I'm
do I need to take a vote for that too?
Well, you have to do it through a motion, and you need a seconder, right?
So the motion has come with Councilor Prue, right?
So I'll motion to further discuss these matters on the 29th at the in camera.
Do I get a seconder for that? Councilor Ellsworth? All in favor? Opposed?
I just have something to say. You can't lift these resolutions from the table at an in-camera meeting.
Oh, it wasn't to, it was to discuss further.
Okay, but we need
No.
to determine, we have to lift these up off the table. We need to give them a date.
You're right.
Oh, okay,
So we could lift them from the table on March 29th, but they can't be lifted from the table at an in-camera meeting.
that's fine. It was just, I want to be able to discuss it before we lift them, right?
Okay, let me do it again.
Also, just letting everyone know that Councillor Valentino has joined the room as well.
Okay. So I call for a question for the lifting the table motion on 29th. Is it 29th?
Yes, I believe so, yes.
March 29th?
Yes,
Do I get a second for that? Councilor Mamoto, seconded?
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed? Councillor Valentino,
I'm opposed.
you opposed? So the title is defeated. So next,
In that case, move on with the agenda. Adopting the agenda, and we'll sort this out.
okay, I believe the delegation is not to be here, so I need the motion to amend the agenda. Councillor Ryan Lamar. Seconded. Councillor Ellsworth. All in favor as amended? Councillor Valentino?
She put up her hand.
She did? Okay, thank you. So, community comments or feedback? Any questions from the floor? From the audience? Please state your name.
Ron Malachuk, 20 F Street. I have a question on the check register, check number 0032317, in the amount of $10,419.47. I was wondering what that was for.
City manager, can you answer that
I
question?
can't answer it on the spot. We'll have to get that information back to you as our finance officers here.
Okay,
Okay, I'll be at the next meeting.
all right. Any other comments, question? Second time? Any comments and feedback? Third time, okay. We go to adoption of the minute. Okay, I have moved by Councillor Ellsworth and seconded by, I believe, is signature. Whose signature is it?
So I think that's fine.
Andre, Councillor Prue. Be it resolved that the minute of the regular meeting of council held in council chambers, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Monday, March 1st, 2021, be adopted and circulated.
Again, point of order, Mr. Deputy Mayor, if I may.
Your point of order.
I'd just like to clarify that the minutes will, should be reflected that the motions brought forth were tabled contrary to our procedural bylaw. That's all. Thank you.
Get that done? Great. Do I need a second for that amendment? Okay. So let me do it again. Be it resolved that the minute of the regular meeting of council held in council chambers, City Hall, Thompson, Manitoba, on Monday, March 1st, 2021, be adopted as a circulated, amended, as circulated. All in favor? Opposed? So moved. Okay, committee and extended committee reports, 7.1, Liga committee report. Can I have Councillor Landmark to do the report?
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, Deputy Mayor. Legislative and Finance Committee reporting periods from January 19th, February to March 15th, 2021. Deputy Mayor Wong, Chair, and Mayor Scoop, Councillor Landmark, Councillor Valentino, and staff members Anthony McGinnis, Jenny Prince, Neil Keller, and Angie English are committee members. Committee role to research the programs and priorities of other governments in search of opportunities for the city to partner, to coordinate the City of Thompson's lobby efforts, to oversee all contracts, orders, reports, accounts payable, recommendations, and proceedings involving the expenditure of municipal funds to oversee all accounts receivable, expenditures, and outlay of all sums of payable under contract, and to ensure that no account, claim, or demand not expressly authorized to be paid by a statute, by law, or resolution of council shall be paid by the city clerk until it has been authorized by this committee in consultation with the appropriate standing committees where applicable and approval by council. And the annually review and recommend to council the types, rates, and conditions of payments to be made to members of the council and council committees as compensation for expenses incurred while attending business that the council considered appropriate, and to lead council in an annual budget process, and to initiate the organization of procedure bylaw review process. Meetings, the legislative finance committee meets every second Monday prior to the week of council meetings. Lobby efforts. The legislative and finance actively pursues partnerships with various provincial and federal governments to advance the city's priorities. Some of the meetings held with the ministers during the reporting period are Minister Stephenson, Health and Seniors Care. A letter was sent to request that the intermediary hub be established in the city of Thompson. Minister Johnson, Municipal Relations, met with the minister along with Minister Squire's families department via conference call on February 17th and 26th, 2021 to discuss income assistance program payments. MLA Adams, Mayor and Council, as well as administration, had opportunities to meet on January 19th, 2021 to discuss regional and municipal concerns, conventions and conferences meetings. Mayor and Council, as well as administration, attended the city school liaison meeting on February 22nd, 21. The Thompson Community Development Corporation Board held meetings on January 27th and February 17th, 2021. Mayor Smook attended the Thompson Chamber of Commerce annual general meeting on February 24th, 2021. The Association of Manitoba Municipalities, Mayor Smook, along with City Manager Anthony McGinnis, attended the AMM Cities Caucus Zoom meeting on February 12th, 2021. So,
thank you, Council. Any question, any comment from the councilors? See none. Okay, move on. 7.2 February check register. Any question, any comment from the councilors? City Manager?
I just note that this was brought to the Legislative and Finance Committee, was reviewed there. There were several questions at that committee, and they were answered by the administration to the people asking questions.
Okay. Any question? Okay, Councilor Ellsworth?
Yeah, I'm not sure the question that Ron asked earlier, but I asked, I believe it was the same question in finance. It was 032317. As we hired Smoops for $10,418.47. Dozer was used to push snow up, if you remember that. Yes, so that's a different one. That's fine. But that's the question along with others that the city manager mentioned that I have asked in finance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I expect an answer at the next meeting.
Okay, we'll move on since there's no question. Correspondent 8.1, a letter from Derek Johnson, Minister of Municipal Relations, in regard to the Fire Protection Grant Program. Is to Steve Malo. I'm pleased to inform you that your community application under the Fire Protection Grant Program has been approved. Of your total submission cost, you have been awarded a total of $150,000 for a thermal imaging camera and a ventilation upgrade. This amount will be provided to your community in the near future. The Fire Protection Grant is a one-time program to support projects or activities that improve fire protection or emergency response in the municipality and Northern Affairs Committee. This fund will help local governments to provide long-term fire protection and ensure public safety for the residents and the businesses. Once again, I would like to congratulate you and your successful application and reaffirm the Office of the Fire Commissioner commitment to the ongoing development of the Manitoba Fire Service. The Office of the Fire Commissioner will be contacting you in the near future to discuss the reporting requirements for this grant. If you have any question related to your application or would like to engage the Office of the Fire Commissioner in a future asset or other planning, please contact Chris Curley at the firecom@government.nb.ca or by phone at 204-945-3322. Sincerely, Honorable Derek Johnson, Minister. So good news. Any comment and any question from the councillor?
Councillor Valentino has her hand up.
Okay, Councillor Valentino, go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to comment on, this is such a good news story for the city of Thompson. This was a short-term, not a short-term, but it had a short turnaround to apply for this grant. So good work on our fire department for getting this grant put in. And this was actually initiated by Minister Squires before the change in ministers, where Minister Johnson became the role of this department. So this is a grant that takes projects or money off of our operating when we do our budget planning and even some of our capital purchases. So this is a good news story for our fire department.
Thank you, Councillor Valentino. Councillor Mamoto, go ahead.
No, thank you, Deputy Mayor Wong. I'd just like to say as well, that's good news for sure, 150K to the fire department. I just had a question for administration. If these types of grants, like the letter outlines that it was for ventilation and the thermal camera, so do they expect a return of funds if those two projects don't exceed, or is that whole check turned over?
Yeah, normally if you're underspent, they haven't given us the guidelines, but normally on a grant, if you don't spend the full amount, you'd probably be required to return what's not spent.
Okay. I just noticed that they did identify those two specifics. So
right. I believe the breakdown is 50,000 towards the cameras and 100 roughly to the ventilation. That's what was submitted to the government at the time.
That's what Thank you.
Any other question? Okay, no, I'm going to move on to bylaws. 9.1. Resolution number 2021-037. Be it resolved that bylaw 2009-2021, being a bylaw of the City of Thompson to amend bylaw 1985-2019, being a bylaw of the City of Thompson to close a public reserve, be given second reading. I have the mover of Councillor Lamarck. Any comment, question?
Deputy Mayor, if I could.
Oh, sorry.
Just a quick explanation. This is the one that was brought forward. It's a minor housekeeping matter that the wrong deposit number was put on the paperwork by the province. So this is a minor change that has to be made to the bylaw to allow that deposit to be registered.
Tammy?
You said the mover, but who was the seconder?
Councillor Fountain, sorry.
I believe that this was just a minor change that we required because we made a mistake. And this was to do with the exchange between us and the school board. We were talking quite a while, so we hope we get this result.
Did you have your hands up, Councillor?
Oh.
No other question? Okay. We'll call for the question. All in favor?
Yes.
Okay. Unanimously. Okay, 9.2. Resolution number 2021-038. Be it resolved that bylaw 2009-2021 be given third and final reading, and that is do now pass. Any, I got a mover from Councillor Lamarck and seconded by Councillor Fountain again. And I believe this, oh, you go ahead.
Just a reminder that this is a recorded vote as it's the third reading.
Thank you. Any question? All good? So I call for a question. All in favor? And Councillor Valentino?
Yep, you read them out one by one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I have Councillor Councillor Ellsworth, Councillor Coburn, Councillor Prue, Councillor McMurdo, Councillor Fountain, and Councillor Lamar, and Councillor Valentino, and myself, Deputy Mayor Wong. Can I say that in a unanimously? Even the mayor not here, right? Should be saying, okay, thank you. Okay, 9.3. Resolution number 2021-039, be it resolved that bylaw 2001-2020, being a bylaw of the city of Thompson in the province of Manitoba to establish water and waste water rate between the same municipality, be given second reading as amended. I got a mover of Councillor Ellsworth and seconded by Councillor Lamar. Anything? Okay, go ahead.
Proceeding to second reading was a direction of the Public Utilities Board. And they've asked our Chief Financial Officer to make a change under Schedule A to the table. So they had recalculated some of the numbers and submitted those to her for inclusion in this table and directed us to bring it to second reading.
Okay, thank you. And we'll call for question. Anybody have any question and comment from this bylaw? Can I ask for a recorded vote myself as a chair?
I believe you can on the bylaw, right? Second reading, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to ask for a recorded vote. Okay, I'm going to call for a question in favor of the amendment.
Sorry, you're in favor of the resolution. The reading of the bylaw,
Yeah,
it's not the amendment.
read it.
It's not the-
Resolution 2021-039. In favor of this resolution? Opposed?
Point of order.
Recorded vote.
You asked for recorded vote, you got a kneel no something.
Okay, wait, okay, hold on, sorry. In favor, Councillor Ellsworth, Councillor Prue, Councillor McMurdo, Councillor Lamar, Councillor Valentino, opposed? Myself, Deputy Duncan Wong, Councillor Coburn, and Councillor Fountain. Carried. With that, I think it's the end of the night, and Mayor's report. Mayor is not here, so I can report for her. So can I get a, unless any council have anything to update? Go ahead, Councillor Fountain.
I'd just like to commend a number of volunteers again who were able to set up a mobile surgery clinic for pets this past weekend, the weekend past. The weekend previous to that was a spay and neuter clinic, again, mobile. Thank you so much to the group that enabled that. Being able to do that on the fly was a huge example of community spirit and logistics, and I really commend the doctor from Hudson Rakedall Veterinary Services who came from down south to provide this, and the vet herself, Dr. Carey. Thank you so much. Oh, and Manitoba Paws and Need as well, who did most of the groundwork on that. Thank you.
Council Fountain, anybody else? If not, I'm going to call the adjournment. Thank you. Good night, everybody.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Council Brown, all in favor? Okay, thank you.